a chance to recreate yourself. Taking a look back at our past years and listing every element, we can see the many aspects that make us who we are today. Some, of course, being positive qualities, while others tending to hold you back. But what if we were given this new chance of starting over? An opportunity to actually point out our flaws and see which aspects we should leave or carry out with us. As I began to reflect what are the certain factors that have actually held me back in achieving great things, it got me to wonder what it would be like if I were to gradually make all these fears disappear. How would my life and inner self be affected by this? Would it influence my future in any way? Thinking about this even deeper, I decided to place myself in a situation. Referring to the phrase of starting over, I imagined myself having a suitcase. But in this suitcase, we find something quite unordinary, where each object in it symbolizes certain aspects I will carry on in my journey towards the future, or in other words, my journey off to college. With this baggage, I will now have the opportunity to recreate myself, being able to strictly choose which objects, which features I will save or discard for my life completely. But as any other human being, I do tend to carry on several treasured features, including memories of my past, my personality, my friendships, my beliefs, where all these abstract objects play a big role in shaping the person I am today. But aside from having all these positive and cherished qualities, we should give the same amount of importance and attention to our own weaknesses, the negative factors. We all tend to experience life with certain factors or fears tend to hold us back from achieving great perfection. We try so hard in breaking these barriers, yet still nothing seems to shut them off. Now, what if I were to remove these negative factors from my suitcase? What would be the importance of making these flaws disappear? Taking the situation of the suitcase in much consideration, I began to think, so what exactly are the fears and flaws limiting my life in going that extra mile? Giving it much thought, it became pretty clear. So now I'll introduce to you guys the main fear I believe has impacted my life the most. Over the past few years, I've encountered myself shutting down several opportunities. The reason this occurred was because I either felt I wasn't good enough, or I was simply just afraid of trying it out. I call this fear the fear of inadequacy. Being knowledgeable about this fear of mine, I'm able to look back at the very situations in which my life has set barriers when opening and accepting new opportunities into my life. Well, when did this flaw come about? Well, the truth is, it isn't about a major scenario or a significant moment in which this fear exactly stood out. But it's those little details and small opportunities I simply decided to reject. For example, one time, all my friends took the stage at the 5th grade talent show, and I completely shut down the opportunity to perform. Or I've never really taken a chance to learn a sport, such as soccer or tennis, or I could have easily discovered a new passion or hobby. Or never really taking the chance to take the leadership role in those small school projects we had. So little situations like these are the negative factors that have slowly begun to establish barriers in my life, not allowing me to be involved in new and different journeys. But as I imagine my life now, without this fear from taking me back, I can see it bringing great results into my future, such as opening up to new opportunities and saying yes to different chances. Now being able to create a much more confident, open, and diverse human being. Now, the second fear I believe it is time to discard or defeat from my life is the fear of being too dependent. Most of us tend to go through our lives relying on someone else, expecting that someone to take full responsibility of our own necessities and responsibilities. In my case, I'm able to detect various situations in which I have abused the fact of having that certain someone tell me what to do and when. As I grew older, the fact of having my parents by my side became a need. I was so accustomed of them being on my shoulders, it was hard picturing my life without depending on them. But by allowing others or my parents to be on my shoulders and behind everything that affects my day-to-day life, isn't going to benefit my future in any way. In fact, it will completely throw off the opportunity of actually reaching full maturity, or not experiencing or discovering things on your own will throw off my opportunity of actually growing up or learning something new. And as I thought through these flaws and fears and how they've actually limited my life, I was in a way finally facing them. Realizing all these weaknesses that have lived by my side since day one, I'm aware of the great potential they have in holding me back, both physically and emotionally. And even though this relieving solution of simply discarding my fears by not hiding them inside a suitcase is a fantasy, doesn't mean it's not true. The time to face our own fears is never going to be too late. We always have that second chance to recreate what we have ahead of us, making each thought and action truly count.